And had maths class in the morning
Yes, ma'am.
from
10, 10 to 11.
10 to 11. Okay. Who else? Who else are taking the extra classes?
Max and PPS, I think so.
Maths, PPS, and chemistry. Mhm. Okay. So, and always we are little late, 10 minutes. Okay, I understand. Because class is over at 11 o'clock. It's not possible for you to join. After this class, you have another class. Huh? Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Think so. PPS sir said he will take.
I didn't get you. I'm sorry.
Sir said he will take a class, ma'am.
Your maths, sir, huh?
PPS sir.
ఎన్నింటికి
He didn't
తెలీదు.
inform, ma'am, but sir said he will take a class.
Okay. Fine. It's almost like a working day for you today. Okay. It's 11:10. Then let me go ahead. I was discussing about the classification of polymers. Okay. There I spoke to you that polymers are classified into 3 types depending upon their chain type. That is, whether they are straight chain polymers, branched chain polymers, or cross-linked polymers. Roll number 105. Good morning. Absent. It's 106. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11 is absent. 12. 15. 16. 15. Good morning. Yeah. ఇప్పుడు రాక నిన్నే క్వశ్చన్ అడుగుతుంటాను. ఓకే, టెల్ మీ. Monomers. Define a monomer. Easy one. 8th class questions. 9th class. 10th max. What are monomers? Yes, they are the basic units. Very good. Okay. Define functionality. Will all molecules act as monomers? No. What it means by functionality? Good. Number of binding sites. What is the minimum number which has to be there for a molecule to act as a monomer? 2. Correct. Good. Okay. Now, let me explain the relation between functionality and structure of the polymers. Okay. So what you are understanding here is that, just look here. If the monomer is just bifunctional, that means the monomer has 2 binding sites. Okay. I'll call this as my monomer, and it has 2 binding sites. So, on repeated combination of this monomer, what type of polymer is expected? generally a linear polymer is expected. So a linear polymer is generally soft and it will be flexible and the functionality will be 2. Okay? No. If the functionality is more than 2, like for example, a trifunctional molecule is there. Okay? In such cases, what will happen? There is branching of the monomer molecules, and hence they form a relatively branched chain polymer. No, if the functionality is more than 3 or 3 sometimes, what will happen? It will result in a structure of the polymer which is 3-dimensional in nature. Okay? And hence will form 3-dimensional cross-linked structure. A structure like this. Okay? Which is hard, brittle, and inflexible. Okay? So it's the discussion. Okay? So such polymers are bonded on all the 4 sides are called cross-linked 3-dimensional polymers, which are hard, brittle, and inflexible, rigid, very rigid polymers, like our flex switchboards, etc., which we want them to be really tough. Okay, will be the discussion. అర్థమైందా చెప్పింది? సో ఏం చెప్తున్నాను, ఈ మోనోమర్స్ అంటే ఏంటి? దీస్ ఆర్ ద మాలిక్యూల్స్ విచ్ ఫార్మ్ ద పాలిమర్. సరే, అన్ని మాలిక్యూల్స్ మోనోమర్స్ కింద యాక్ట్ చేయలేవు. ఎలాంటి మాలిక్యూల్స్ యాక్ట్ చేస్తాయి మోనోమర్స్ కింద అంటే అవి దే షుడ్ హ్యావ్ అట్లీస్ట్ 2 బైండింగ్ సైట్స్. సరే, ఒక మోనోమర్ కి జస్ట్ 2 బైండింగ్ సైట్స్ ఉంటే జనరల్ గా అవి రిపీటెడ్ గా కంబైన్ అయినప్పుడు లీనియర్ పాలిమర్స్ ఫార్మ్ చేస్తాయి. లీనియర్ స్ట్రైట్ చైన్ పాలిమర్స్. జనరలీ లీనియర్ పాలిమర్స్ ఏముంటాయి? అదే ఒకసారి 3 ఉందనుకో, బ్రాంచ్ చైన్ పాలిమర్స్ ఫార్మ్ అవుతాయి. లేదా 3+ అయినా క్రాస్ లింక్ పాలిమర్స్ ఫార్మ్ అవుతాయి. ఓకే, ఈ 3-dimensional క్రాస్ లింక్ ఫ్లెక్సిబుల్ గా ఉంటాయి. Of the polymers. Okay. Classification. Okay. Next. Point number 8. Again, E. The next classification is on the degree of polymerization. Roll number 111. 110 is present. Roll number 110 is present. 111, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. No, 16, 17.
Yes, ma'am.
Vaishnavi.
Yes, ma'am.
What it means by degree of polymerization?
The number of monomer units present in the polymer tells the degree of polymerization.
Degree of polymerization. Okay. So the next classification is depending on the degree of polymerization. Depending upon the degree of polymerization, called as capital D, capital V. They are classified into oligopolymers and high polymers. Oligopolymers and high polymers. Now, what are
Ma'am,
these
please adjust camera, ma'am.
Huh?
Not visible top, ma'am. Adjust camera, ma'am. Camera adjust చేయండి, ma'am.
ఇప్పుడు depending upon the degree of polymerization, the polymers are classified into oligopolymers and high polymers. If degree of polymerization is less than 600 units or 600 monomers, okay, then such polymers are called as oligopolymers. If it is more than, if the degree of polymerization is more than, is I correct? I want to say the degree of polymerization is more than 600. Okay, then they are called as high polymers. Now here it is less than 600 monomers. Okay, in such cases it is called as high polymers and oligopolymers. What are oligopolymers? Small chain polymers. They are not really large polymers where the number of monomer units are around 600. Now, if the degree of polymerization is really high, more than 600, then they form what are called as high polymers. Okay, so that's the next type of classification. Okay. The next one is depending upon the type of polymerization. Depending upon the type of polymerization. Type of mechanism of polymerization. Type of mechanism of polymerization. Now, if it is type of polymerization, it is bulk polymerization, suspension polymerization, like that. That's not that. Here, depending on the type of mechanism of polymerization, they are classified into three types. First one is addition polymerization. Addition or chain polymerization. The second one is copolymerization. Copolymerization. The third one is condensation polymerization. Condensation or step polymerization. And this addition polymerization is very much there for you in the syllabus. And the addition polymerization is again of three types. Okay. Free radical addition polymerization. The second one is ionic polymerization. The third one is coordinate chain polymerization. Coordinate chain polymerization. So these are the three types of polymerizations where, depending upon further what are the intermediates or what are the starting materials for polymerization, they are again further classified into free radical, ionic, and the coordinate chain polymerization. Okay. If the free radicals are the beginners of the polymerization process, then it is called as free radical polymerization. Now, if the ions are the initiators, then they are called, it's called ionic chain polymerization, which is further classified into cationic and anionic chain polymerization. Which is further classified into cationic and anionic chain polymerization. Whereas the last one, that is the coordinate chain polymerization, it is through formation of coordinate bonds, okay, and usually catalysts like the Ziegler-Natta catalyst, very famous, okay, are being employed for this type of polymerization reaction, and hence is the classification, okay. So depending upon the mechanism of polymerization, addition polymerization, co-polymerization, and condensation polymerization are the three types of polymerization methods or mechanisms that are studied, that are known actually. Okay. Addition polymerization is actually the main one. Okay. In which a single monomer is polymerized to get the polymer products. A very, very common things in the industry that's happening around us. Okay. Usually involves again three types of further the chain initiating compounds, like whether they are free radicals, ionic, or the coordinate chain polymers are being the starting materials, is what is the further classification. We'll study this in detail because you have this in the syllabus, the mechanism. Okay, but for right now, we'll just limit ourselves to the classification method. Okay, now the other one is depending on the property of the polymer resin. Depending upon the property of the polymer resin, polymers are classified into fibers, plastics, and rubbers or elastomers. The synthetic materials are called as elastomers. Okay? And plastics are further classified into two types: thermoplastics and thermoset plastics. Depending on behavior towards heat. Depending on their behavior towards heat treatment. That's a classification. Okay? We'll get back to the discussion. So, what will happen exactly when you're doing polymerization from the monomers? You'll get the end product straight away? No. What will happen? What's your guess? What might happen? After polymerization, you'll get a mass, a resinous mass. Okay? అంటే ఒక ముద్ద మోనోమర్స్ పాలిమర్స్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఏం వస్తుంది యాక్చువల్ గా అంటే ఒక వస్తుంది ఒక ముద్దలా అండ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ zinc. Will certain okay, and those resins are the starting materials for our final product. Okay. No, what you want to do, for example, you want to make a structure. Okay, you want to make some, for example, tubes. Okay, what we PVC tubes we use for our plumbing purposes and all. In just of daniki, PVC or vinyl chloride, you'll do the polymerization. After the polymerization process, you'll get a lump, mass, okay, which is very much sticky, and sometimes it can be into a powder as well. Okay, that it is called as a resin, and actually it is not the final product. To that resin, what you will do is start adding various ingredients. For example, you want to bake a cake, for example. So what you'll be doing, you'll be taking first maida, then you'll start adding all the ingredients, the soda, this baking powder, or whatever cake flavor you want, everything you keep adding to that base maida. Mix it thoroughly, and then put it in a mold of your required size and shape, and you will heat it. Is it not? That's the exact procedure that is followed even for our polymeric resins. So once the resin is obtained, that resin is added with different compounds like plasticizers, stabilizers, antioxidants, coloring materials, etc., lubricants, etc., to the required color and property. Okay, then they'll mix it thoroughly. This process of adding various ingredients to the resinous mass is called as compounding of the polymer. Okay, so once the compounding process is done, they mix the ingredients thoroughly, put it in a mold, and they'll subject it to heat and temperature treatment. Okay, it is nothing but the fabrication process. So the fabrication process involves giving the heat treatment to the compounded resin, and then you'll get the end product. Extrusion is one of the methods which is adapted for making long drawn pipes. Pipes manufacturing చేయాలనుకున్నాం PVC నుంచి. పాలిమరైజేషన్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత పాలీవినైల్ క్లోరైడ్ ఒక బిజినెస్ మాస్ కింద వచ్చేస్తుంది. ఓకే, సమ్ టైమ్స్ అది పౌడర్ ఫార్మాట్ లో కూడా మనం తీసుకురావచ్చు డిహైడ్రేట్ చేసి. సో పాలీవినైల్ క్లోరైడ్ ఒక ముద్ద ఫస్ట్, దానికి ఏం చేస్తారంటే ప్లాస్టిసైజర్స్ యాడ్ చేసేసి, కొంచెం ఏదైనా కలర్ కావాలంటే కలరింగ్ మెటీరియల్స్ యాడ్ చేసి, కావాల్సిన స్టెబిలైజర్స్, యాంటీ ఆక్సిడెంట్ మెటీరియల్స్ అన్ని యాడ్ చేసి చక్కగా మిక్స్ చేస్తారు. దానిని కాంపౌండింగ్ ఆఫ్ ద రెజిన్ అంటారు. తర్వాత ఏం చేస్తారు, ఒక ఇన్స్ట్రుమెంట్ లో పెడతారు. ఎలాంటి ఇన్స్ట్రుమెంట్ అంటే, అది ఒక రాడ్ ఉంటుంది, దాని చుట్టూ ఈ రెజిన్ మౌల్డ్ అయ్యేటట్టు. అప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది, శుభ్రంగా లోపల ఎప్పుడైతే రాడ్ తీసేస్తావో మనకి ఇక్కడ హాలో ట్యూబ్స్ లాంటివి వస్తాయి. దాన్ని ఎక్స్ట్రూషన్ ప్రాసెస్ అంటారు. No, you will drink water in our plastic water bottles. These are called PET bottles. What is that? PET means? Huh? What does PET means? PET water bottle, PET water bottle. What is that? PET means?
Polyethylene terephthalate.
Terephthalate. Okay. So polyethylene terephthalate is nothing but that PET water bottle. How it is made? Not by extrusion process. What they'll do, they'll take they'll add various colors, everything, and various plasticizers, and they'll put it in a sort of a bag-like structure. Okay, in a bag they'll put everything, and they'll start heating, and when the conditions are hot, they'll just blow hot air into the bag-like structure. What will happen? Because of the blowing of air, the polymer will just move aside and the bag is blown in the middle. And the whole polymer structure would set to the corners and the middle portion is empty. That's how you'll get the PET water bottle. The process of making of that is fabrication is blowing process and antartani. So So when a resinous mass is added with various ingredients, it is called as compounding. And when it is being subjected to pressure and heat treatment to get the end required product, it is called as fabrication. So after preparation of the polymeric resin, it will conclude into the final structure depending upon the various compounds you add and the fabrication process you adapt. Okay. Example of a fiber. ఫైబర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్పండి. ఇది ఇంటరాక్ట్ చేయకపోతే యాక్చువల్లీ బోరింగ్ గా ఉంటుంది. ఓ నేనే చెప్తున్నాను. ఫైబర్స్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఏంటమ్మా? తెలీదా అసలు? ఒక్క ఫైబర్ తెలీదా మీకు?
Threads.
Polyamide.
Nylon 6,6.
నైలాన్ 6. ఇంకా
Polyamide nylon.
అదే పాలియమైడ్స్ అంటే నైలాన్స్. నైలాన్ 6,6, నైలాన్ 6,10 అవి.
Terlin.
సో నైలాన్ తీసుకుంటాం. ఓకే. సో ఈ పాలిమర్ ఎందుకు ఫైబర్ అంటున్నావు అంటే, why you are calling that polymer as fiber? Fibers are polymers which are having good aspect ratio. Okay, they have good aspect ratio. Now what it means by aspect ratio? Aspect ratio is nothing but length to diameter. Okay, that means what are fibers? Those polymers which are very, very long, okay, and they are very, very thin, are supposed to be polymers containing good aspect ratio, and they are the materials having good, very good tensile strength. Okay. Now you want to lift some heavy weights. What you will do? You'll use a crane. After that, you'll use ropes. Okay. What ropes are generally made up of? Ropes ఎలా చేస్తారు? తాడు.
Coconut.
నైలాన్ బట్టలు ఎండేసుకోవడానికి నైలాన్ థ్రెడ్స్ వాడుతున్నారా మీరు? ఓకే. దేని పెట్టి తాళ్ళు దేనికి పెట్టి కడతారు? హెవీ వెయిట్స్ లిఫ్ట్ చేయడానికి ఏం చేస్తారు? రోప్స్ యూస్ చేస్తాం. ఓకే. ఆర్గానిక్ అంటే జూట్ ఫైబర్స్ అని వేసి అవి కడతావు, అవునా? అలా కాకుండా సింథటిక్ అయితే యువర్ నైలాన్ ఇట్ సెల్ఫ్ ఈజ్ అ మటీరియల్ ఫర్ మేకింగ్ రోప్స్. ఓకే. నైలాన్ థ్రెడ్స్ అంటాం కదా. ఓకే. సో ఈ రోప్స్ ఎలా చేస్తావు? యూజింగ్ దిస్ ఫైబర్ polymers. Okay, they'll wind it in such a way that huge heavy weight load bearing ropes are being made. So anta load bearing capability ela vastundi ante they have very high aspect ratio and they have very good tensile strength. So if polymers are having high aspect ratio, high tensile strength, that means the load bearing capability, then they are classified as fibers. That means thin, long polymeric materials are called fibers. Okay. But sometimes the polymerization might end up in making a polymer which is plastic in nature. Okay. That means exhibiting the property of plasticity. So what it means by plasticity? What's the difference between plasticity and elasticity? You might have already studied in your physics. What's the difference between plasticity and elasticity? Can you give the examples of plastics and elasticity containing polymers, that means rubbers. Sorry, I'll tell you. This property is depending on their behavior towards stress, external stress applied. Okay. If the polymer is undergoing physical deformation by applying pressure on it, and the deformation is permanent, that means the polymer is not regaining back its original shape when the external pressure is removed, such properties are called as, that property is called as plasticity. That means you are applying pressure on the polymer will undergo change in the shape, that means deformation in the shape, and the deformation is permanent. That means when you take out the stress, the polymer is not regaining back its original shape. Such polymers are called as plastics, and they are exhibiting the property of plasticity. No. If the polymer, when subjected to external stress, is undergoing physical change or deformation, and the change is not permanent, that means the polymer regains back its original shape when the stress is released, like your elastic rubber bands. You are applying stress, the polymer is undergoing change in its shape. When the stress is released, the polymer is regaining back its original shape. That property is called as elasticity, and the polymers which are exhibiting the property of elasticity are called as rubbers or elastomers if they are synthetic. Okay, and hence is the classification. అర్థమైంది కదా చెప్పింది. సో ఎలా క్లాసిఫై చేస్తావు పాలిమర్స్ ని? ఎక్స్టర్నల్ స్ట్రెస్ అప్లై చేసినప్పుడు, అసలు చెప్పాలంటే ఫైబర్స్ లో ఒక ఫైబర్ మీద ఎక్స్టర్నల్ స్ట్రెస్ అప్లై చేసావు అనుకో, ఇలా బట్టలు ఇలా పిండావు, ఆ షేప్ ఏమవుతుంది? It is not at all affected by any physical stress or strain. It remains constant. So fibers are generally not affected by external stress or strain. Their structure remains unaltered. Okay, but there are other polymers whose structure gets altered. Okay, like the plastics and rubbers. Okay, what's the difference again between plastics and rubbers? If you are applying stress on plastic material and you are subjecting it under pressure, there is change or deformation in the structure and it remains constant. It will not regain back its original shape when I am removing the stress. They show the property of plasticity and hence are called as plastics. But there are other materials like rubbers, which when one stress is applied, they undergo physical deformation, but the change in the structure is not permanent. As soon as you remove the stress, they regain back its original shape. They exhibit the property of elasticity and they are called rubbers or elastomers. Okay, why that elasticity? Why? See, what will happen? Usually, in the case of rubbers, the structure of rubbers would be very coiled. Okay, and they are perfectly amorphous in nature. They are amorphous in nature. Remember, when once you apply stress, there is uncoiling of the polymer. Okay, the uncoiling of the polymer takes place where the coiled structure has gone. Wherever you have applied stress, the uncoiling of the polymer will take place. Okay, and the polymer becomes crystalline in nature. When once you remove the stress, again it undergoes recoiling, and hence it is able to exhibit the property of elasticity. Unlike plastic, polymers are not coiled in shape. They are always straight or branched or three-dimensional. They don't exhibit this coiled structure and hence will not exhibit the property of elasticity. Their deformation of the structure is permanent and hence plastics. Property is plasticity. Did you understand that? Okay, so it's the discussion. Now these plastics are further classified into two types. Okay, thermoplastics and thermoset plastics. Thermoplastics and thermoset plastics. Depending upon their behavior towards, depending on their behavior towards heat treatment, plastics are further classified into two types, thermoplastics and thermoset plastics. So what are thermoplastics? They are soft, flexible. They are soft and flexible and generally linear in shape. When these plastics, once they are subjected to heat treatment, will undergo, will be set into a structure. Okay, and if the heat treatment is further done, that means once again if the heating is done, again they become soft, they become flexible and can be remolded into another method or another object depending upon the fabrication, because they can be subjected to a series of heat treatments, cycles of heating and cooling and molding into different end products. Such plastics are called as thermoplastics. Okay, like our polythenes and all. What will happen? Once you have heated it, you have applied pressure and got one object. Okay, now you want to recycle this. What you will be doing again, if you heat, again they will melt, again you can put them into another shape and get another structure. Okay, so the plastic is nothing but the recyclized plastic, and such plastics which are recyclable are called as thermoplastics. Why? Usually they are linear or branched, they are soft and flexible, and hence they exhibit this property. No, if you take our switchboards or our plugs and all, okay, they will fall under the category of thermoset plastics. Means what will happen? Once the plastic is a resin, you have added various components, you have subjected it to heat treatment and you have fabricated into a plug or a plug board, switchboard. After that, if you want to recyclize it again, okay, what will happen? It is so very hard, brittle and tough plastic. It is set. If you heat it again, what will happen? It will undergo charring, ante kalipotundi. Okay, but it will not melt or it will not undergo any further softening. Okay, it will straight away undergo charring and hence can't be recycled. Such polymers are called as thermoset polymers. Why they are called thermoset? It is because they have three-dimensional cross-linked structure. They are hard and rigid, brittle polymers. Once they are fabricated into the final product, they cannot be further recyclized. Whereas the thermoplastics are the plastics which can be recycled over a series of cycles of heat treatments, and hence is the classification of the polymers. Okay, what is very important for you is the differences between thermoplastics and thermoset plastics, which is a famous 2 marks question for your mid and final exams. Okay, to jot down. Okay, before that, what do you write? Or do you see the board? Fibers, these are polymers with good aspect ratio. With good aspect ratio. అంటే దాని మీనింగ్ ఏంటి? ఏ పాలిమర్స్ అయితే సన్నగా పొడుగ్గా ఉంటాయో దే ఫాల్ అండర్ దిస్ కేటగిరీ ఆఫ్ ఫైబర్స్. సో వాట్ ఈస్ ఆస్పెక్ట్ రేషియో? ASPCT. Aspect ratio, it is the ratio of length to diameter. Length to diameter. Okay. So fibers are long, hard, flexible, with good tensile strength. With good tensile strength. With good tensile strength. Examples: nylon 6X, Kevlar, polyester, or terylene or Dacron. Terylene or Dacron. You have polyacrylonitrile or LON are the examples of fibers. That advertisement, car advertisement is given. MRF Nilo Zip means even on the car, terylene. Even on cars and all, for required grip, what they'll do, they'll make that ఏమంటారు, స్కిడ్ అవ్వకుండా అవంతా వాటి సర్ఫేస్ ని రఫ్ చేసేసి వాటిని కాంపౌండింగ్ చేసి రబ్బర్స్ కి ఈ ఫైబర్స్ కూడా పెడతారు. సో దట్ అవి యాంటీ స్కిడ్ ప్రాపర్టీస్ కోసం అన్నమాట. సో అవాయిడ్ స్కిడింగ్ ఆఫ్ ద వెహికల్. ఓకే, సో ఫైబర్స్. నెక్స్ట్ plastics. Plastics are polymers. Plastics are polymers which exhibit the property of plasticity. Plastics are polymers which exhibit the property of plasticity. That is, their physical deformation is permanent when stress is applied. That is, their physical deformation is permanent when stress is applied. Okay.
Ma'am, repeat once again. No?
Their physical deformation is permanent. Their physical deformation is permanent when stress is applied. When stress is applied. Okay. They are further classified into thermoplastics and thermoset plastics. They are further classified into thermoplastics and thermoset plastics. Depending upon their recyclability. Depending on their recyclability. let us write few important differences. Thermoplastics. The other one is thermoset plastics. Thermoplastics and thermoset plastics. Okay. So what's the first one? They are soft, flexible, linear, or branched polymers. They are soft, flexible, linear, or branched polymers. We'll write here. Thermoset plastics. Huh? What's the point for thermoset plastics?
Hard, brittle,
Hard, brittle, inka
branched,
cross-linked. Hard,
cross-linked.
hard, brittle, rigid, rigid polymers. Rigid polymers. Here, the first one, second one. They have linear or branched structures. They have linear or branched structure. Linear or branched structure. What do you write here? They have three-dimensional cross-linked structure. They have three-dimensional cross-linked structure. Okay. Next, what do you write? Third point. What you might write here? Huh? Roll number 100.
Recyclable.
Yes, ma'am.
Next point ఏం రాస్తావు?
Ma'am, they are recyclable, ma'am.
Recyclizable.
Yes.
Okay. అంటే ఎలా చెప్తావు? Okay, they are recyclizable and these are non-recyclizable. That point I'll give at the last. ఇంకా can thermoset plastics be subjected to heat treatment?
Yes, ma'am. Thermoplastic or heat treatment?
Thermoset?
No, madam.
No కాదు. అదే
Non-heat treatment.
You know. Good. It is to the entire class. Thermoset polymers అసలు హీట్ చేయలేమా? చేయగలం.
చేయొచ్చు మ్యామ్.
అవి ఫైనల్ ప్రోడక్ట్ కింద వస్తాయి. సరే. So these polymers are subjected to heat treatment and molded into final structure only. దాని మీద కూడా హెవీ ప్రెషర్ పెట్టి బాగా హీట్ చేస్తే కానీ అవి కూడా మౌల్డ్ అవ్వవు ఫైనల్ ప్రొడక్ట్స్ కింద. కానీ ఒకసారి వన్స్ దే ఆర్ ఓన్లీ దే కెన్ బి సబ్జెక్టెడ్ టు ఓన్లీ వన్ సైకిల్ ఆఫ్ హీట్ ట్రీట్మెంట్. ఒకసారి సెట్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత అవి మళ్ళా రీసెట్ చేయలేవు. అంటే ఇంకో రౌండ్ ఆఫ్ హీట్ ట్రీట్మెంట్ చేసి ఇంకో వేరే స్ట్రక్చర్ లోకి మౌల్డ్ చేయలేవు. ఓకే, సో దేర్ ఓన్లీ వన్ cycle of heat treatment is possible for thermoset plastics, whereas thermoplastics, they can be subjected to a number of cycles of heat treatments and the fabrication. That's the difference. Because of that nature, this plastic is recyclable and this plastic is non-recyclable. Adhamainda? That point I will dictate as point 3. Right. Point 3. They can be subjected to a number of cycles of heat treatment. They can be subjected to a number of cycles of heat treatments. Here, point number 3. Once set to the final product, they cannot be subjected to another cycle of heat treatment. They get charred on heating. They get charred on further heating. They get just simply burned away. They can't be subjected, but they can be subjected only once. But these can be through a number of cycles. Okay. What's the fourth point? That's the point. Because of this property, they are recyclable plastics. Recyclable plastics. These are non-recyclable plastics. These are non-recyclable plastics. These are non-recyclable plastics. Before we conclude, this one will be examples. That's very, very important for this plastics. Very important. Listen. If possible, always give examples. If not, marks won't be 100%. Okay. So, what are the examples of thermoplastics?
PVC.
Inka?
Polystyrene.
Polystyrene, Teflon, PVC, etc. Okay. Here, what are the examples of thermoset plastics?
Bakelite. Polyester.
Polyesters, alkylate. Polyesters, alkylate. Ante more than just terline kaakunda veredi. Okay. Urea formaldehyde, melamine formaldehyde, urea formaldehyde. ఈ ఫర్నిచర్ ఉంటుంది చూడండి మన కార్స్ లో అప్హోల్స్ట్రీ ఒక్కొక్కసారి క్లాత్ పెడతాం, ఒక్కొక్కసారి నార్మలీ రబ్బర్ లాంటి మటీరియల్ ఉంటుంది కదా అప్హోల్స్ట్రీ ఆర్ ఆర్ ఫర్నిచర్స్. ఓకే, అవేంటి యూరియా ఫార్మాల్డిహైడ్ ఆర్ పెర్లాన్ యూ అంటాం. ఓకే, దీస్ ఆర్ ద మెటీరియల్స్. ఈ మేలమిన్ ఫార్మాల్డిహైడ్ మన నాన్ బ్రేకబుల్ అన్ని ఉంటాయి కదా, ప్లేట్స్ కప్స్ అవంతా నాన్ బ్రేకబుల్ మెటీరియల్స్, ఇవంతా మేలమిన్ ఫార్మాల్డిహైడ్. అవి స్ట్రక్చర్స్ ఎక్కువ చెప్తే మీకు అర్థం కాదని ఐఎమ్ లిమిటింగ్ మై డిస్కషన్. మేలమిన్ ఫార్మాల్డిహైడ్, యూరియా ఫార్మాల్డిహైడ్, this is Bakelite is phenol formaldehyde. Very versatile. and hence is the discussion. Okay, so it's 12 o'clock. I shall stop my session, and that finishes introduction. Actually, this one introduction, it's actually not there in your syllabus, but it is important. See, we are saying this plastic money ante double plastic untaya cards untai chip cards antunnam kada. So apart from the sensors which are recognizing it, the materials that are being used are generally polypropylenes వాడతారు దాంట్లో. ఓకే, ఈ PVC we know that మన ప్లంబింగ్ ఇప్పుడు అంతా గ్రే కలర్ ట్యూబ్స్ అంతా వచ్చేస్తాయి కదా, అవంతా ఇంటర్నల్ వైరింగ్ అండ్ ఆల్. నీకు ఉండిందా ల్యాబ్ ఇన్ ద ఫస్ట్ ఇయర్, ఫస్ట్ సెమ్ యు హ్యాడ్ దిస్ వర్క్ షాప్?
No,
Hello.
ma'am, we have this sem.
This
Okay.
sem. Okay,
Yes,
electrical wiring, RGB colors avanta unnaya. So the plastic tubes, it might be a common experience. మన ఇళ్లలో కూడా plastic tubes wiring చేస్తాం కదా. Okay, those gray color tubes are nothing but PVC tubes. This is what exactly I'll be discussing when I'll be talking about PVC tubes, the gray color tubes which are used for wiring of the house. And what you'll be surprised, what is the sheet that is మన wires ఉంటాయి కదా RGB colors, earth phase neutral. ఓకే, ఇవంతా మీకు తెలియాలి. ఓకే, సో ఈ వైర్స్ పైన వేసే షీట్ ఏంటి, ఆ మెటీరియల్? ఏ మెటీరియల్ అది? ప్లాస్టిక్. అదే
Fiber.
కోపం వస్తే ఒక రాంగ్ ఆన్సర్ పడేసాం అనుకో, అక్కడి నుంచి నేను గింజుకుంటూ ఉంటాను నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్ దాకా. అమ్మ బాబా వీళ్ళకి అసలు ఏం అర్థమైందని, ఎంత హాయిగా ఉంటారో మీరు. సరే, అది కూడా పీవీసీనే. యు విల్ బి సర్ప్రైజ్డ్. అదేంటి ఇది పీవీసీ అది పీవీసీ, హౌ ఇస్ ఇట్ పాసిబుల్ అంటే, one PVC is soft and flexible, that is the sheath of that wires. Okay, now actually in market umpteen number of compositions have come, but PVC, one of the plasticized PVC is one of the major component which is with which those wires are made. A copper strands ni chuttu vesina sheath anta PVC, adi PVC, plasticized PVC. ఏదైతే we'll put those wires inside those gray color tubes, is it not? Those gray color tubes are also PVC pipes. I've just now told you how those pipes are made by a fabrication method called extrusion. It's like the whole polymer, they'll keep it, they'll tuck something inside and you'll get the long drawn tubes and it keeps on cutting. It's a good fabrication method by a process called as extrusion. Okay, so how is it possible that this here, in this case PVC is hard and brittle, in that case it is soft and flexible? It is because of whether they are using plasticizers or not. Plasticizers are certain compounds which are added to polymeric materials as additives during compounding process to give that end structure. Okay, you can just imagine, even in that plasticized PVC you have 3 different colors. So the 3 different colors is again due to addition of 3 different colors of pigments, okay, which are added. Okay, and they'll get the end products. Okay, Surya HDPE pipes, what is that HDPE stands for?
High density polyethylene.
High density polyethylene. Polythene మనం బ్యాగ్సే కాదు, అలాంటి పైప్స్ కూడా వచ్చేసాయి. పీవీసీని రీప్లేస్ చేసి HDPE పైప్స్ వచ్చాయి, హోస్ పైప్స్ వచ్చాయి. All because of various additives that are being added during before the fabrication process. So they know if I add what ingredient to that polymeric material, it gives that final structure. See, we'll use those disposable cups. What is the general composition of that disposable cups? డిస్పోజబుల్ వాడతాం కదా, వైట్ కప్స్, ప్లేట్స్ అన్ని వాడుతూ ఉంటాం కదా. ఏంటవి? ఏం పాలిమర్ అది?
రీసైకబుల్.
రీసైక్లైజబుల్, కరెక్ట్. ఏంటి? పాలిస్టైరిన్.
HDPE.
HDPE కాదు, పాలిస్టైరిన్. జనరలీ పాలిస్టైరిన్ ఇస్ చాలా విషయాల్లో పాలిస్టైరిన్, బట్ అదర్స్ ప్రోడక్ట్స్ ఆర్ ఆల్సో కమ్. చెప్పాను కదా ఎందుకు. దే ఆర్ చేంజింగ్. They'll take one polymer, they'll add different additives to it. I know what additive does what function. That's it. And it does the job. Okay. And hence is the discussion. I'll stop the discussion here. Okay. And this is what it is. Very interesting chemistry. Okay. Your presence is in the class for attendance. So I have a brilliant batch of students this time who can really listen. They not have to listen to the lecture, but just with the set of notes which I give, they'll create wonders. Anyhow, ఏముంది, పుస్తకం చూసి రాయడమే కదా ఎగ్జామ్ కదా. I have a question. How many miss college? Means how many of you want to come to college? No one wants to come to college. Great people. You're happy with this
Hands
online
raise చేశారు మ్యామ్.
Raising hands, madam.
Yes. Because coming to college and just good. See, coming to college itself is an experience. Means you have so many things happening. Just it's not for just the subjective learning which you're coming for to the college. As I've always, I keep telling you, it's all a huge experience altogether. Okay. అసలు కాలేజ్కి వచ్చి టీచర్స్ ని గాస్పూస్ కొట్టి మేనేజ్ చేసి మీరు వేసే వేషాల కోసమనే కాలేజ్ చేశారు మోస్ట్ రిమెంబర్డ్. కరెక్ట్. ఇట్స్ ట్రూ విత్ ఎవ్రీవన్. Okay. So if things are not like that, we should know how to again improve our such experiences online. You should know how to make it. Yeah, correct. On the raising hands, సరే అటెండెన్స్ ఇలా ఇచ్చేస్తున్నారా ఏంటి? ఓకే. ఎలాగ ఇప్పుడు ఇలాంటి ఎంటర్టైన్మెంట్ పోయింది. ఎవరిని ముట్టుకుంటే వాళ్ళకి భయం, కరోనా వస్తుందని. సో ఇన్ సచ్ కండిషన్స్ వాట్ టు డూ? How to really enjoy these youthful college days, the whole campus, coming to campus, making funny things on the campus, learning seriously, subject learning. This why these years are very beautiful. Everybody's life is because you learn so much and so happily. You won't know that you'll be learning so many things, not alone your subject, but many other things. Few play, few enjoy, few sing, few dance. Everyone sings, everyone dances, but few excel in their domains. Of course, the subject learning would be there. There is so much indirect learning from everyone, your friends. When you interact with friends, you'll know what you like, what you don't like. Your faculty, how it's like it's a common thing. Every one of us likes certain people. Why? We don't know. We just like them. So why? What makes you comfortable? It's so many things, so much. It's all like bubbling thing around. Okay. It's okay that nothing is lost. It'll be probably having many more such things later, but this is what it is. But don't come to the session only for attendance. That's a perfect nonsense, actually, I'd say. And truly, yeah, you're not able to really have that spareable time because thanks to the online classes, I don't know, I think I'm an old lady, probably not able to be really too comfortable with the online things. It's a little, will become little rigid with the age, probably. But I've become a good student. I started learning so many things. It's an interesting thing. And actually, students taught me how to be really very comfortable using various gadgets, mobile, laptops, and how to really conduct class more successfully. Okay, so that's the thing. We'll get back. 61.
Present, ma'am.